Hello everyone, today we are taking 4 of the latest action cameras under the water. We got some serious contenders here. First up, the Insta360 X5. It's a 360-degree powerhouse, but to keep things fair, for other non-360 cams, we are using it in single lens mode. Next, Gopro HEro 13, a legend in the game and often called the father of the action cameras. Then we have the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, probably the most loved camera right now thanks to its perfect balance of performance and price. Finally, meet the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, easily the most creative one and the only flip screen action camera on the market, handy for vloggers and solo adventurers. Now, carrying all 4 of them underwater, not easy. Let's just hope I don't sink like a rock or worse, lose one. Before we dive in, literally, let's quickly check out their underwater limits. Insta360 X5 waterproof up to 15 meters or 49 feet without a dive case. Gopro HEro 13 good for 10 meters or 33 feet. DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro takes the win here. It can go down to 20 meters or 66 feet. Insta360 Ace Pro 2 holds up to 12 meters or 39 feet. But to be honest, I rarely go deeper than 3 meters while snorkeling, so unless you are scuba diving, these specs might not matter much for most people. Now let's talk about video power. Insta360 X5 in single lens mode shoots up to 4K 60 FPS. Gopro HEro 13 can go up to 5.3K at 60 FPS. DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro goes all the way to 4K 120 FPS. Insta360 Ace Pro 2 a monster up to 8K at 30 FPS. For underwater footage though, 4K at 60 FPS is my sweet spot. Why? Because it helps me slow things down just enough, smooths out the water movement, and when fish start around, slowing that action to around 50-55% in post for 25 FPS timelines make everything look better smooth. So to keep things consistent, I've locked all cameras to 4K at 60 FPS, that way we get a true and fair comparison for all of them. As for color, every camera has its own unique color science. To keep things balanced, I set all to their vivid or vibrant color profiles. Could the results change if I use flat or natural profiles? Absolutely, but testing every profile in every condition will take forever and we will be editing until next year. So what are we actually looking for? We are focusing on sharpness. Can you see those tiny fish scales or is it just a blur? Clarity, is the water looking crisp or muddy? Color accuracy, does the reef look like Finding Nemo or some weird green soap? And finally, ease of use. How easy is it to handle? Start recording and change settings while you are actually underwater. Because let's be honest, no one wants to fumble with confusing menus while trying to hold their breaths. Yes, by the end of this video, I will name my personal winner, but, and this is important, your winner might be different depending on what you care about most, whether it's color quality, stability, budget, or ease of use. There is no one size fits all here. I'm just sharing what works best for me. And before anyone starts shouting sponsored content, nope, not here. I bought every single one of these cameras with my own money. No sponsors, no free buys, no brand whispering in my ear. Just my honest, unfiltered opinion from someone who genuinely uses this camera in real life travel and underwater shoots. If you're wondering how these cameras perform above the surface, don't worry, I've got you covered. Check out my Insta360 Ace Pro 2 review. And if you are curious about the new X5, I've done a full breakdown on that as well. I also have comparison videos like X5 versus X4 and X5 versus Ace Pro 2. So if you are camera shopping or just geeking out like me, be sure to give those a watch too. Alright, let's dive into the tests. So here's what we got. All 3 cameras except the Gopro HEro 13 are showing a strong blue tint underwater, even when the water isn't actually that blue. These cameras tend to auto-correct colors towards a more vibrant ocean blue tone. Now I'll be honest, I like that blue look. It gives off that dreamy underwater vibe, even if it's not totally accurate to reality. But if you are looking for reality, GoPro HEro 13 delivers the most true-to-life colors in this scene. The Insta360 X5 and DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro go heavy on the blues, while the Ace Pro 2 still managed to hold on to some of the natural riff colors, which is a nice middle ground. If you have seen my previous comparison video between the Insta360 X5 and Ace Pro 2, you already know where I am going with this. The X5 has a big focus issue when used underwater in single lens mode. This is actually the third video where I brought it up and it's still a problem. The footage just doesn't lock focus properly underwater, and if the video isn't sharp, then it really doesn't matter how good the color is. So here's the deal. I don't think the X5 is designed for single lens underwater use. It really shines in 360 mode with the invisible die case, where you can get super creative with shots, even those cool half above, half below water clips that no other camera can do quite like it. For this test though, it's only fair to remove the X5 from the lineup. No hate, it's just not the right use case. And like I said before, that doesn't mean it's a bad camera. Far from it. When I compare it to Ace Pro 2, I was honestly blown away by what it could do, just not in this specific underwater single lens scenario. If you're curious, check out that comparison. It might really surprise you, shock you. Let's talk field of view and how much you actually see with each camera. Among the three, the GoPro HEro 13 has the narrowest field of view, while the Ace Pro 2 goes wide, really wide, but here's the twist. When we freeze the frame, GoPro HEro 13 still wins on sharpness. Just look at the fish in the shot. On the GoPro, you can see clear detail, while the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro looks noticeably softer in comparison. As for color, both the GoPro and Ace Pro 2 deliver more natural underwater tones, whereas the Action 5 Pro once again leans heavily into that blue tint, even though the water wasn't that blue in real life. At first glance, in this scene, GoPro HEro 13 and Ace Pro 2 look almost identical, but hit pause and the difference pop. The HEro 13 reveals more texture and detail, especially in the highlight areas. The Ace Pro 2 seems to purposely soften the highlights for a cleaner, more polished look. Great for aesthetic shots, but a bit less detail rich. Meanwhile, the Osmo Action 5 is again softer overall, and yep, the blues are back. Now let's check out the edges. Ace Pro 2 shows the most image warping near the corners. Osmo Action 5 has a little less warp but still noticeable. The GoPro HEro 13, thanks to its narrower field of view, has the least distortion on the edges. Everything feels tighter and more controlled. So yes, less FOV means less warp, but it's a trade-off between immersion and image fidelity. Speaking of distortion, here's another great example. Watch the fish swimming near the edges of the frame in Ace Pro 2 and DJI Action 5 Pro. Notice anything odd? They look stretched, almost as if they've been pulled sideways. This is classic lens warping. It happens on ultra-wide lenses. You will also see edge blur in both cameras, while the center of the image stays nice and sharp. So if you are framing important subjects near the corners, these are things to keep in mind. Now let's talk about a major flaw I noticed with the Ace Pro 2, and it's not the first time I brought this up. I talk about it in my full Ace Pro 2 review video, links in the description if you haven't seen it. The issue is sudden exposure shifts. In this clip, as soon as my hand enters the frame, the camera suddenly adjusts exposure, shifting focus to the hand, but it happens so abruptly that it's distracting. In contrast, both the DJI and GoPro handled the shift much more smoothly, and the GoPro HEro 13 easily the smoothest and most natural transition of the three. Hopefully this is something Insta360 can fix in a future firmware update, because the camera has so much potential otherwise. Now check this out. Just look at the colors on this fish. Which one looks like it's glowing? That's right, GoPro HEro 13 nails it again. You can see the sunlight dancing on the reef, the fish scales catching the light, it just looks alive. Don't get me wrong, the Ace Pro 2 is still really good here, colors solid, details are sharp, but the Osmo Action 5 is starting to fade a bit, colors a bit washed, fish aren't as crispy, and the overall blue tint is definitely overdone in this scene compared to the other two. So, before we crown our champion, let's quickly review the key pros and cons, starting with the one was gracefully retired early in the test, Insta360 X5. Its pros: only true 360 camera in this group, and yes, it can shoot 360 underwater. You get the luxury of reframing later, no need to aim perfectly in the moment. Miss the shot, no problem, just reframe it in the post. Want to follow a fish? Just tap into the app, the software will keep it centered. Self-filming is seamless. It removes the selfie stick digitally, making it feel like someone else is filming you. Widest possible field of view, especially in 360 mode, which goes ultra wide beyond what any of the other cameras can offer. And cons: realistically, to shoot 360 underwater, you will need the invisible die case, which is both expensive and fragile. These dome-shaped cases are prone to scratches, and even tiny scratches can ruin your footage with light smears and flares. Shooting both underwater and at the surface at the same time is a technical challenge. Stitching underwater requires separate optimization from stitching above water, doubling the workload. It's not ideal for single lens underwater use. The focus struggles significantly in that mode, which is why we had to eliminate it from the test early on. So to be fair, the X5 isn't a bad camera. It's actually a phenomenal tool in the right hands, especially for creative and immersive 360 storytelling. But when it comes to straightforward, no-fuss underwater shooting in single lens mode, it's just not the best fit. Let's talk about the Gopro HEro 13, the veteran in the action cam world and the one that surprised me out the most underwater. The pros: best image quality across the board. Seriously, none of the others match the overall clarity, contrast and details of the HEro 13. Sharpness holds up from the center all the way to the edges. If you care about capturing texture like fish scales or reef patterns, GoPro nailed it. Even in vibrant color mode, it delivers natural looking tones without going overboard on the saturation. The cons: narrower field of view compared to others. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It depends on how you shoot. If you are chasing fish from a distance, that narrow field of view actually brings them closer, which might be a plus for you. But if you're trying to film yourself, especially underwater, with a selfie stick, framing becomes tricky, so in that case, it's the downside. Battery life: not great. Expect around 1 hour and 5 minutes max at 4K 60 FPS. For longer snorkel or dive sessions, you will need spare batteries or a power bank in your dry bag. Performance issues underwater. I saved this one for now because it is frustrating. After shooting a long clip, 2-3 minutes or more, it struggles to stop recording, and once it stops, there is a short lag before it lets you record again. It's like the camera needs a breather. Not ideal when action is happening around you. Touch screen is the weakest of all three. The moment you hit water, the touch response becomes nearly unusable. But here's a tip: set your presets before diving and stick to using the physical buttons while underwater. Trying to change settings mid-swim? Yeah, good luck with that. The Ace Pro 2 sits somewhere between creativity and practicality, and underwater it holds its ground pretty well. Pros: wildest field of view out of the three. And what matters a lot underwater, especially when you're filming yourself, you want enough space in the frame to capture the scene without cutting your arms off. Fantastic color science. The footage looks cinematic, rich and punchy. If you're looking for something that instantly looks polished, this one nails it. Very sharp in the center, textures, coral details and fish close to the middle of the frame pop beautifully. Smooth operation underwater, no crash, no freezing and no lag when recording. Just hit record and dive in. Cons: the Ace tells a different story. Footage becomes noticeably soft and warped at the sides, more than the GoPro or Osmo Action 5. If your subject swims toward the corner of the frame, expect some stretching and blur. Battery life is not good. About 1 hour and 10 minutes at 4K 60 FPS. So pack a power plan if you're out for a while. Sudden exposure shifts. Yep, this one's annoying, especially when you introduce a hand or shadow into the frame. The camera adjusts abruptly, and while it doesn't always happen, when it does, it is very noticeable. DJI Osmo Action 5 brings a few unique tricks to the table, especially for divers who like to stay under longer and go deeper. Pros, deepest dive rating out of the bunch. Rated up to 20 meters without needing a dive case. That's a big plus if you like free diving or diving without a bulky housings. Built-in depth sensor. This is the only action cam in this test. Not in this test actually. This is the only action cam in the world with that feature. Activate it and you will get a depth overlay burned into your footage via the DJI Mimo app. Super cool for scuba divers or snorkeling YouTubers who want to show dive depth live on screen. Battery life champ, hands down, up to 2 hours at 4K 60 FPS, and if you lower to 4K 20 FPS, you are talking about almost 3 hours. And let's be honest, underwater changing battery is a mission. Longer battery means less hassle. Very user-friendly underwater. The touchscreen is responsive, the menus are easy to use, and there are zero performance issues during dives. Cons, weakest underwater image quality compared to GoPro and Ace Pro 2. Colors are heavily shifted toward blue even when the water isn't. It's like the Osmo Action 5 is trying too hard to sell the ocean blue vibe. Soft blurry edges and faded overall image. The details just don't pop the same way, especially compared to GoPro's clarity or Ace Pro 2's center sharpness. If image quality is your top priority, this might fall short. So, who is the winner? As you've seen throughout this deep dive, and literally I'm talking deep dive, none of these action cameras are perfect. Each one has its strengths and each one stumbles in certain areas. For me, the two biggest factors are image quality, and in this category the clear winner is the GoPro HEro 13. It just delivers the sharpest, most detailed underwater footage. Usability underwater, and that's where Ace Pro 2 and DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro shine. If I had to pick just one camera at the underwater winner, I will go with the Ace Pro 2. Here's a surprise, right? So let me explain. It strikes the best balance between the image quality and ease of use, which matters the most when you are out there snorkeling or diving and don't want to fight with your gear. And trust me, if you are underwater, it's very difficult to operate your camera if your camera is not collaborating with you. But hey, don't take my word as a gospel. Your needs might be different. If you're all about getting the crispest, sharpest, most accurate image possible, GoPro HEro 13 is your best bet. If you are planning longer dives and need a camera that can last without swapping batteries mid-adventure, go with DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. You saw the footage. It's not bad at all. Maybe just needs a bit of color grading. And if you are into creative shots, want to reframe later or shoot half underwater, half about magic, then Insta360 X5 is the camera for you. Now that you've seen the real world footage and the pros and cons, that's why you are in the best position to choose your winner. Whatever you decide, you won't be regrets, since now you know what you know. But hey, I shared my honest pick, now it's your turn. Drop your choice down in the comments. Which camera would you pick and why? I love to hear what matters most to you when shooting underwater, whether it's image quality, battery life, ease of use, or something else entirely. Thanks a ton for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please consider subscribing, because right now, well, I don't have any subscribers yet. And smash that like button if you found this helpful. It really helps me keep making videos like this. See you in the next one.